it's my immense pleasure to pass the floor to the students that worked very, very hard for this presentation. And I think we'll start with Annie. So floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you. It's a pleasure. So as an advice to the audience, in this presentation, we will address the OPSIDIAN challenge on housing assistive technologies. How can these technologies be integrated to establish links between technological solutions, the needs, desire, and life project of the elderly person and the necessary support services? So each speaker has a fictive role, and we present a fictive scenario to highlight creative solutions to respond to the challenge. So today, we will start, in fact, our first meeting of consultation table, housing assistive technologies for elderly home support. So hi, everyone. It's really a pleasure to welcome you to this first meeting. I'm assigned by the government to support these initiatives of creating a new governmental agency under the Health Ministry of Quebec. And this agency has, in fact, the responsibility to cover the new needs of elderly population and digital transformation of the health systems. And because of the various challenges brought to light from the pandemic and the acceleration of digitalization of our society, we should activate various working groups all connected to this new agency. We identify a new methodology based on sociocracy, living lab approach, and co-design session to determine the needs, identify and embark the partners, also to define the problem and ideate new solutions to respond to continuous and evolving needs related to elderly population and aging well ecosystem. So if we move on to the next slide, the objective for this meeting is the first step. We'll talk about the needs assessment. We will have the overview of elderly population needs, and then we will talk about the list of criteria and principles. So we invited a regular member of our council, Frederic, a patient partner, to present conclusion from a study made to collect opinion and analyze rigorously the current perspectives from different profile of end users. So at the table, we see Frederic as a patient partner, Buhao as a director of healthcare of the open innovation of the agency, and then Nina, the specialist of sustainability and social acceptability in healthcare, Wally, the industrial technology startup representative, Sahay, the healthcare professionals representative, and finally, Ricardo, the space designer. So I invite you, Rodriguez, to start your presentation about the elderly needs.
Thank you. I'll take a minute to share my own presentation. So, hi everyone. So I'm the representative of the elderly community. As all adults, we have different needs that have to be fulfilled since our body are aging and we don't have the same autonomy that we used to have as our younger days. So please feel free to interrupt me on the console if you have any question on some of my points. So first, for the nutrition, since our body are not as efficient as before, we have a new nutritional needs. So we might need specific nutrients in more quantity than we used to be. So first, some example of them are that we need more vitamin B12, calcium, and vitamin B, but there's also more example out there. We can also have problem like having poor appetite or problem preparing meal because of articulation problem. So we might also need adaptation in our diet or in the kitchen to meet those needs. And also some diet change might need to be made because of medical complication. So like, for example, constipation or problem chewing if we're missing teeth or if we have jaw problem. Does anybody have anything to say about this point?
Hello, Rodrigo. I have a quick comment on this point. There are currently a lot of research aimed at the presence of smart kitchens that can handle this point, where this technique uses the person's health record and based on it, finds the proper food menu for him. In addition, image processing and deep learning techniques are currently used for cooking food, auto-cook. The current research in this field is recording significant progress in this field. Thanks.
Thank you, Wally. So this brings me to my next point, which is the social needs that an old adult can have. So humans have the social needs, as some social needs that are going to improve their physical and mental health. This is a well-known fact, and this doesn't change as you age. So this is where your solution should promote the interaction between elderly person inside the group. So what we need in a relationship is reciprocity. We need to be able to meet with our family. We need to have a fulfillment, so hobbies or maybe like even a job if it's possible. We have the need of proximity, and we also want our relationship to be meaningful. So we don't just want people to talk to, we want people that want to be there and interact with us. So does anybody have anything to say about this point?
Yes, I have something to say. In terms of space design, what is becoming a trend now are the intergenerational homes, which are, becoming a trend and are not very expensive, mainly if you design them before building, instead of adapting existing homes, So elderly people, when they are aging, they really like to be next to other generations, even better if it's own family members, or like, nephews or even grandchildren. So it's very simple and efficient solutions can become reality when you design special concepts that are dedicated to those generations.
Thank you. Interesting point. So this brings me to my next point, which is physical activity. In general, the more physical activity an older person is going to make, the better the health benefit. However, there is some recommendation where it is recommended to have a minimum of 150 minutes of moderate intensity activity per week to have good health benefit. It's also possible, however, to do 150 minutes of vigorous intensity exercise, or 300 minutes of moderate intensity to see even greater result, like really good result to stay fit and healthy and autonomous as long as possible. But you also need to consider people that have some physical limitations or from a disease or injuries to make it possible for them to have the most amount of exercise, even though it doesn't make doesn't reach those numbers, because any exercise can be beneficial. So does anybody have something to say?
Hi, Rodrigo, thanks for bringing up this issue. So in order to tackle with this issue, we believe that technologies are required that can be used to address the use of technology-based systems to motivate older adults in performing physical activity. In terms of selecting the technology, we come up with three main criteria, including a credible tool to increase PA in older adults. Secondly, it should motivate them to perform PA. And lastly, it should be easy for them to be used. So any types of digital technologies in general, and VR in particular, which support interactive games and physical activities with VR integrated exercises can be used. We believe that the game is kind of with the elderly the pleasure of being involved, and in this way we can encourage them to perform their physical activities. Another solution can be the wearable motion sensing technology intervention. Computer, tablet, smartphones, or smartwatch technology can also be used to promote PA and reduce the sedentary behavior of the elderly citizen. And the duration of the activities can be personalized in terms of the elderly situation.
Thank you, Sally, for the input. So the next point would be personal care and household. Oh, sorry, typo there. Household chores. Taking care of oneself is really good for your mental health. So it's also important for older adults. So like stuff like taking a bath, washing your hair, or having an haircut, and cleaning your room can be important to reduce the amount of bacteria. So this is also for your physical health. So this might be important to bring some health into the household if the older adult is not able to do those chores anymore or take care of himself. So does anybody have an idea how we could do that?
Yeah, for sure, my friend. We have many, we can incorporate that into our design of the space. We can incorporate some hub for receiving those kind of services, We can, like, for example, we can have special places dedicated for cleaning, hairdressing. So we can also design areas where the people can have access to other type of service, like, for advertisement and entertainment, So those are things that can be solved in our design process of this new home.
Thank you. So this brings me to my last point, which is safety. So as our body are aging, we become more at risk of certain injuries or a certain situation. And one of them is being a victim of physical abuse. It can be from someone you don't know, or it is often actually from someone close to you. So it is important to us that there's a way to protect us from physical abuse. There's also a big risk of losing money as a result of scam. There's often related to technology like emails. There's also the risk of being victim of crime, and depending on the neighborhood you're in, and also there's a risk where you're going to get sick or get injured from a fall, which is more common since we have more often osteoporosis, and in those two cases, sometimes we don't have access to help right away, and the help is not there in time. So, would you have any solution?
Yes, of course. Don't worry about this safety issue. There are lots of alarms and sensors, like sound sensors on your body, sensors on your doors, or the camera that can monitor you, that can help you. And these kind of sensors can be connected to the home account. And this home account will be connected to 911 and your family's contact number. So in the emergency situation, the required services can be provided automatically and in a truly short time. And regarding the fraud and the losing money, the bank account will automatically notice your bank consultant, so they can cover all the losing money that you will be having. So don't worry about this kind of matters.
Thank you. This is going to be all from me.
Thank you a lot, Rodrigue, for this presentation. We highly value the patient knowledge and the active participation of patient partner to our decision making. And thank you everyone to add your transdisciplinary expertise to the conversation. Now let's pursue the discussion with our second phase, which is the list of criteria and principle identification. And we had a previous workshop to identify the principle to guide our decision making. So I invite Doha to explain us what we achieved as a list of criteria and principles.
Thanks everyone for sharing your insights in your respective field. I'd like to summarize the list of criteria that we're going to follow to better build a platform for the elderly people. So first of all, the platform should be adaptive and flexible, just in case we have more special needs in the future. Then the platform should be inclusive to all the elderly population, and it should also be technically and financially feasible. The platform should be ethical, focused on data privacy. It should be socially oriented, user-friendly, which is receivable by the general public. And last but not the least, it should be transparent.
At this point, thank you, Doha. At this point, we present two major phases, so the needs assessment and principle identification. And overall, this sense-making exercise help us to fully identify our next activities and decisions. So for next meeting, we will come with an aging well platform, and we will define the solution for our major problem here. So 6 months later, the next slide is important. So 6 months later, we now arrive with our meeting at number 2, which is the launch of Aging and Living Well platform. So hi again, everyone. It's really a pleasure to welcome you to the second meeting of this consultation table on living assistive technology for elderly home support. It's a kickoff of our team of our Aging and Living Well platform. And you could see that we transited from housing assistive technology to living assistive technology to support the idea that it's no longer about facilities, space, technology, and services, but really a mix of everything, including the way of living during our aging life stage. So the main objective here is to pursue the conversation and to present our final platform model to connect stakeholders of the aging and living model ecosystem and explain the next step of our initiatives. So I invite Bohao to present our platform model at this point.
Hello, everyone. Under the direction of the Health Ministry of Quebec, our Aging Well Beyond VAE agency has built an online platform to fulfill the needs of elderly people. We can offer a tablet to each citizen where they can order all their services online through an easy-to-use interface. The tablet will also integrate all the data together, ensure a seamless experience. But if you are not comfortable using it, we also offer the same services on our website via phone call and text messages. You can also drop us a visit to personalize your smart home packages. Now, let's start with the health services. Sorry, could you please tell us what we have achieved regarding the health services?
Sure, thank you, Bohao, for explaining the platform. Healthcare is a broad and critical, one of the broad and critical aspects of the platform, as it is the well-being of the senior citizens. The categories, three main categories. The first one is about how the patients deal with the doctors. So our platform provides and facilitates teleconsultations with doctors for the patients so they can diagnose their problem, and then accordingly we provide them with a personalized prescriptions so that they can be aware of their disease and what actions they need to take. And also our app has the reminder for them so that they can know how they should schedule and take their pills. The second category is the physical health. In terms of the physical health, we offer several smart clothing and apps so that the condition of the patients can be monitored. And in case of emergency, we can send notifications to the doctors, their family, or even some of these technology can automatically take actions, like in terms of having a heart attack, the smart clothing can apply a shock so that the patient can be saved. And also another option is that if the severity of the patient's condition keeps changing, their condition will be regularly monitored, and if required, more equipment will be added to their system. And the last category is the mental health. And we are trying to avoid loneliness and social isolations for our elderly patients. There's a couple of technology that can be used, such as an app which is capable of talking in 200 different languages and can give a sense of not being alone to the patient. Also, there are a series of robotic pets that were created with the intention of fostering meaningful connections to play for our patients, which in this way we can also make sure that the mental health of our patients is properly monitored. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah, for introducing us about the healthcare services. Now, Mina, tell us about the social services that we offer on the platform.
Okay, this platform is a social innovation. So to integrate this platform, we should cover all the aspects of social innovations. First of all, we should be a social. First of all, this organization should be sustainable organization. So this platform will be benefit all elderly, all smart services, all healthcare, and all other suppliers. This platform not only will be safe and will not threaten the elderly's routines, but also it can help them to have a better or healthier life projects. On the other hand, this platform will be profitable projects. and it's very interesting for all investment in all private sector. On the other hand, this organization should be justiciable. It means that this platform provides services for all kinds of elderly, depending on their diseases or their locations. All their needs will be completely supported by this platform. And also in the case of some rural area, infrastructure that's required will be provided by the government. And also this organization should be automatable. It means that this platform is a live system that can be developed and modified by patients, by industrial partners, by healthcare and partners. And although patients can be controlled by the system, they can change the level of their control that they desire based on the approval of the doctors that can be supported. And also this platform is a user-friendly system. It means that this system, every elder can easily benefit from this platform, no matter what their education, they can use this platform very easily. And in case of any required knowledge, there are several volunteers that can help them to register them in this platform. So all these aspects of social can be covered by this platform, and this platform can be acceptable by the social for sure.
Thank you, Mina, for introducing the social services. Ricardo, do you want to tell us about the technical services?
I'm more focused on space design, Bohal, and one of the things we designed is we designed special areas in the home, trying to achieve some certain goals. One of the goals that we tried to achieve was to build a place in the home where the elder person he can stay there and stays in quiet. If he wants to be in a quiet place where he can read something, be away of other people, he can find this place in his own room. So we designed that for him. But we also were careful to design other places in the room, in the home, I mean, where he can also interact with other younger adult generations. And this is areas where he can, discuss and have more conversations and develop daily relationships with younger adults. This is something that helps a lot because reduces depression, reduces also the sense of loneliness of the aging person. So we have designed areas where there is exchange of, activities and talking between those two generations. But we also have been careful to also design places where those elder persons can also interact with children. Children and teenagers are very, very good because they also bring a lot of happiness to the life of those aging people. There is also some, aging people, they don't like so much of technology. So children and teenagers, they can teach those aging people about technology. And vice versa, So we also designed places, and we have option of places where those interactions can happen in a intergenerational home.
Thank you, Ricardo. That's some wonderful options that we're offering on our platform. Now, let's move on to the smart home appliances. Waleed, you want to tell us more?
Hello, Bohal. I'm glad to be with your team. In fact, the smart home will be provided the necessary sensor that aims to make life easy. The house will be equipped with the necessary sensors in order to provide the required protection, such as fire, electricity, and earthquake sensors. We can also provide sensors for controlling lighting and temperature, detecting motion activity, and measuring vital signs. In addition to this, the smart kitchen will be used, which will have a smart cooker that can prepare food and a smart fridge that can identify food shortages and order them directly from the grocery. The bathrooms will also be equipped with anti-slipping surfaces that have wall sensors to report any slipping accident if it occurs. All these technologies and sensors will be linked with the application with our platform, in a user-friendly way so that it will be easy for the elderly to control everything around them. Also, it will be linked to the smart speakers such as Alexa. The use of robots can also be added to do some tasks at home, but it's not essential. Thanks for.
Thank you, Walid. I am really excited for our wonderful platform, which covers all the services that we need as elderly population. Rodrigue, as a patient partner, what do you think about our new platform?
Thank you, Bob. Well, thank you for bringing such a platform that answers all the needs I listed earlier this year. So from what I saw, we can as elderly feel included, and we see that we listen to what we have to say. So I think we're going to accept the technology moving forward. Well, there's more chance that we accept the technology moving forward since you did that. However, I have 2 points I would like to bring forward. One of them is about the financial. I feel like some elderly might not be able to pay for all those services.
Okay, hi Rodrigo. In fact, Rodrigo, most of the sensors are available at reasonable prices. So the problem doesn't lie in the sensors themselves, but the major problem that will face the project is a huge amount of data that will be generated and needs storage. That will cost a lot. So I think the organization responsible for the financial support should take this seriously.
Thank you, Walid. In fact, our platform is partially funded by federal and private government. We also have private holdings, donations, and private insurance to fund our project, so that in the end, the cost will be $1 to $10 per day for elderly people, which is totally affordable.
We could even think about the Novel Klima program as an example of governmental funds to support the individual acquisition of new technologies. So some ideas are already existent, but in different sectors.
Thank you for your answers. My second point that I would like to put forward is that since we're going to implement so much technology into our home, how will our privacy be affected?
Okay, no problem. Our platform proves that your data will be safe. Our partners also will prove that the data cannot be sold to other third parties. So regarding regarding using camera in a specific location of your home, we can use IR camera instead of camera. So in this case, you can feel you have your privacy locations and you feel that it's your privacy. So don't worry about your privacy matter.
Thank you, everyone. Now I would like to highlight the novelties of our new platform. So first of all, it is a governmentally driven project. So we are able to create a new agency to connect organizations and build a community. And we have created a common and tangible project, such as the website and application, where we can integrate all the data and services together. And we have seriously followed the list of principles and criteria. For example, we are flexible, we're inclusive, the technologies are feasible, and it's ethical, it's socially oriented, and it is transparent. We have also used the co-design approach to standardize and customize the whole ecosystem.
So at this point, this meeting is now finished, and we are pretty open to our new invite people to answer to a few questions. Thank you a lot.
Just a few. Huh?